Now that you've answered a criminal homicide exam question, let's debrief it. This essay question is a simplified version of what a final exam might look like. It actually has all the components of a final essay question: fact, intensive fact pattern, and a couple of crimes to consider. A final examination is only going to differ in the number of issues raised and in the complexity of the issues considered. But how you answer an essay question, no matter the complexity, and I'm going to say almost no matter the course, it's all the same. I've got several goals for you as you answer this essay question. First, my hope is that you're beginning to see the relationship substantively between murder 2 and murder 1 when there is purportedly an intentional killing. Every time you write out an essay answer, you're also helping to cement these concepts. This additional step is more helpful than simply reading over and over rules from a case or the outline you've created. Writing it down in a form of analysis is going to help you to remember it. You want to also be able to apply rules to fresh facts, and practicing an exam answer is a perfect way to help you do that. Finally, and this one's going to take time, I want you to be able to grow in your understanding of how to write out legal analysis. The ideas that I'm going to outline here are equally true for all your classes, and examination analysis regularly echoes the kind of analysis we are doing regularly in case discussions in class. When we speak of legal analysis, there's an acronym that everybody uses, at least to one degree or another. It's called IRAC, at least that's how we say it, and it stands for Issue, Rule, Application, and Conclusion. You've probably already heard this in other contexts. In some classes or certain settings, you might be asked to modify this formula. For example, you might be asked to write legal analysis according to CRAC, conclusion, rule, application, conclusion again. In that formula, and it really is a formula, conclusion replaces issue as your starting point. Or you may see CREAC. That's conclusion, rule, rule explanation, analysis, and conclusion. As a general matter, the I in IRAC identifies the issue, or in criminal law, specifically the crime raised by the fact pattern. The R stands for the rule of law. R for rule is a pretty big territory, so I want to bust that out a little bit. Think of this category as including the rule statement, meaning the definition, and explanations of the relevant elements, or one of its subparts. A represents your application of the rule to the facts as it pertains to the issue and element in question. What you want to try to do is provide application of the facts to each element that you've identified. You have an element, you bring in the facts that apply or disprove it. For example, assume you see murder 2 as an issue. Once you've identified that as the issue, the first rule statement would be the definition of murder 2 as a homicide committed with malice. Then each of those elements, homicide, malice, would have to be defined in order and analyzed with the relevant facts. C symbolizes your conclusion about how that issue will be resolved under the law and the facts. Sometimes an element's easily proven. The facts only show one side. It's uncontested. If so, then your application and analysis will be quick and easy. In our exam question facing you, it's an uncontested issue that Danielle committed a homicide of Victoria. It doesn't mean you don't have to analyze it. You do. You have to explain why you think Danielle committed a homicide of Victoria, but it's going to be a quick application of these facts. But sometimes, even often, the element at issue is contested. There are two opposing arguments to be raised. When that happens, the application section becomes longer. It's going to have to be balanced. You're going to write an argument supporting the prosecution's position on that element and a counter-argument analyzing the facts and policy from the defense's perspective. In law school, this is what we call arguing both sides, and it is critical in law school examinations. You might look at an exam fact pattern and say, oh my God, I so side with the prosecution. That's fine, but exam analysis requires you to actually discuss both sides when both sides are called for.